Hello there, everybody. My name is Kavya Nair, and we are reporting to you live as the much-awaited Dorian Gray trial begins.
Mr. Dorian Gray, you have been summoned to this court of law to face punishment for your wicked ways.
Firstly, why are you talking like a wizard? Please stop. In regards to Sybil, however, I am not responsible for her death. It was her fault for not meeting my impossible standards.
I can be a wizard if I want, because I'm not on trial for involuntary manslaughter. Anyway, Dorian Gray, you have committed multiple sins, but this may be one of the most heinous. You drove poor Sybil Vane, a young, amazing actress, to suicide with your cruelty and neglect.
Your Honor, if I may, Dorian Gray is one of the most highly respected individuals in England. Did you honestly expect him to stay and marry a poor nobody? Yes, he may have been a tad harsh. However, Sybil Vane made the decision to commit suicide.
Do you have anything to say about this, Dorian Gray?
Yes, I have a lot to say. Sybil Vane played her greatest part that night. She realized the reality of love and took her own life. Such a martyr, that one. She made that decision. I did nothing except tell her the truth. She was pathetic towards the end, and I'm too good for that.
We now call the prosecution to the stand, as well as the witness the prosecution has chosen.
Good evening, Your Honor. We have chosen a witness to the awful crime committed by Dorian Gray. We would like to resurrect Sybil Vane to the stand.
My name is Sybil Vane. I was absolutely enamored with Dorian Gray. I loved him so much. However, it is in death that I see the true nature of his being. The true reason for my death, this loathsome, narcissistic, morally bankrupt creature told me that I was nothing. He told me that I spoiled love. He made me feel like my very existence disgusted him. Find it in your hearts to find justice for me.
And there you have it, Your Honor. Dorian Gray is a despicable man who used and destroyed Sybil Vane. His actions and direct words drove this poor woman to believing that there was no way out, that she was nothing. Please, Your Honor, see how this senseless act of cruelty led to the death of Miss Sybil Vane.
I have heard all I need to hear, and I have seen all I need to see. Mr. Dorian Gray, whether it be the blatant lack of moral conscience or your absolute entitlement, it is almost certain that you were the cause of Miss Vane's death. I hereby sentence Dorian Gray to a life in prison, plus 30 years for criminal negligence. You will live the rest of your days out in a highly secured prison in constant isolation. Court is adjourned.
Well, you saw it here live, folks. Elitist Dorian Gray has been sentenced to life in prison, and Miss Sybil Vane may rest finally in peace.
Now, this just in, we have here a husband who killed their wife out of jealousy. To tell you more, I have Amelia, the woman who found the body. Amelia, can you tell me how you knew the victim?
Well, I am the attendant to Desdemona. I have known her for a very long time and I love her. She was a very good boss to me.
Amelia, can you tell me more about what you just saw?
My husband told me to come and tell Othello what had happened, and that's when I found the horrible husband had killed her.
I did it for her own good. I didn't want her to commit more sins and be punished.
How did you find out she died?
I walked in there, and I was telling him about Cassio killing Rodrigo.
I'm sorry, did you just say another murder happened here?
Yes, a couple of hours ago, Cassio, the former lieutenant, killed Rodrigo. He was a wealthy man, and he was very nice.
2 murders in one night. This is very tragic. Now, can you tell me more about what happened with Desdemona?
Well, when I was talking to Othello when Desdemona came out stumbling, she looked so pale, and she was short of breath, and she claimed she was murdered. Almost immediately after, she recants her statement, claiming she killed herself, and then she just died.
If she claimed that she killed herself, then how do you know Othello was the true killer?
Othello then told me the truth. Othello was even somewhat proud of it. He claimed it was for her own good. Apparently my lovely husband had told him that sweet Desdemona cheated on him. That woman did not have a bad bone in her body.
So what did you do now that you knew Othello was the one who killed Desdemona?
Well, then I called for help, and Montano, Grisanio, and Iago showed up with everyone in the same room. We were able to figure out what happened. happened. My husband was...
Stop it, woman. Stop making up all these lies. You belong to me and I'm telling you to shut up.
I was saying, my husband orchestrated the whole thing. He was jealous of Othello, and he was a spiteful man. He had always been. He told Othello and Desdemona cheated on him, and for the proof, he used a handkerchief. And he got the handkerchief from me.
So, do you mean to say that Desdemona never cheated?
No, of course she didn't. She loved Othello. She dropped the handkerchief one day, and my husband had told me to get it before. So, being a good wife, I took it for him, and I had no idea what he was going to do with it.
You better stop talking before I kill you.
She didn't cheat?
He planted it in Cassio's room and told Othello that Desdemona and Cassio are sleeping together.
Oh my god! I am very shocked! 2018 Handkerchief Bowl, the only major literary sporting event in the world. Now, before we begin, let's take a look at the regulation equipment that will be used in today's game.
Our hanky today is white, adorned with red strawberries with green stems. It has 4 corners, 4 edges, and was woven by a 200-year-old Sibyl, and the strawberries were dyed with virgin heart extract.
That's right, Larry. It was charmed by an Egyptian enchantress and is said that as long as a wife keeps the handkerchief in her possession, the husband will remain faithful and in love with her.
So I guess one could say that this handkerchief represents rational thinking and Desdemona's love for Othello at the moment.
All right, here we go.
At kickoff, Othello's mom has the hanky and executes a beautiful pass to Othello.
Othello has just completed a successful handoff of the hanky to Desdemona, who is running towards the end zone. Desdemona passes the hanky back to Othello to go in for the touchdown, and oh!
Othello has fumbled the ball. This is unprecedented. It has been intercepted by Amelia, who now sprinting towards the end of the field.
And that's halftime, folks.
Hi everybody, it's Othello here, and I would like to present the greatest piece of technology around. Have you ever felt out of control? Have you ever wanted to obsess over something or someone, but normal people think it's creepy? Has anyone ever told you that you should just move on and try to cope in a healthy way? Well, the Mirror of Erised is an amazing product that won't do any of those things. The Mirror of Erised will show you the future you want to see. You could spend weeks wasting away on what might have been. Just ask any of our loyal customers.
Oh my god! It's beautiful! The girl in the mirror is me! Nobody could compare. I'm so beautiful, my youth is eternal. Oh, Lord Henry, now we can be together. I can see anything I want. Oh, how I love the grotesque. This mirror is letting me live out my fantasies of the yellow book. This mirror is everything I ever want or need in life.
Of course it is. The Mirror of Erised is fantastic. It's satisfying. Whatever you want to see is right at your fingertips. The sights it shows you will change your life. Just ask another one of our most loyal customers about how the mirror impacted his life.
Daisy, my Daisy, we are finally together. Nothing can tear us apart. Nothing. I will throw all the parties I can to celebrate you, to celebrate us. I knew you always loved me. You would never leave me for another man. Aren't our children perfect? Our life together is so fulfilling. Oh, Daisy, I am eternally happy with you.
There you have it, people. The Mirror of Erised will give you all that you want. Your wish is its command. You can finally be in control. Its success is guaranteed. Just call 1-800-666-6666. Beware of the Mirror of Erised imposters. Desdemona, my sweet Desdemona. Desdemona!
Now call today and for 3 easy payments of $19.99.
And if you call today, we'll even throw in this free dagger, perfect for killing all your enemies.
Amelia has now passed the hanky to Iago, who has an interesting move, giving it to Cassio on the opposing team. Iago is now sprinting to the opposing captain Othello and seems to be whispering something to him.
Cassio looks very confused and panics. He hands the hanky to Bianca, who does not seem happy to receive it.
She hands a handkerchief back to Cassio, and oh my gosh, Othello has just seen this entire exchange. He looks very angry and is storming off the field. The match has been called in favor of the opposing team.
Well, that certainly was a turn of events. I wonder how this handkerchief game will affect Othello's thinking from now on.
I don't know, Larry. I think Othello's a pretty rational guy and not the type to be obsessed with his wife's purity. She seems like a trustworthy person and is devoted to Othello, in my opinion.
I guess we'll have to see how this unfolds. Back to you. Welcome to Antiques Roadshow, the only show in the UK that appraises the wealth that is only gossiped about in secret. I'm Lady Berkshire, and today's guest is Dorian Gray. Can you tell me about what you have with us today?
Like you said, I'm Dorian, and I have a collection of jewels, fabrics, perfumes, and musical instruments, and some other stuff.
Amazing. Can you tell me about how you obtained all of these objects?
Well, I read this fascinating book about a man who desired to learn about all the pleasures of the world. So I made it my life's mission to collect luxurious items from around the globe. I spared no expense in curating this collection. For example, this perfume is made from Hilvena, a tree native to the east, and it's said to make people mad.
Astonishing. Is there something that you like to collect best?
No, not really. My hobbies are a distraction from my problems that are bogging me down right now. For example, I became quite enamored with music and purchased these Chilean flutes created from human bones.
What can you tell me about your gemstone collection?
This is a chrysoberyl that looks green but appears red if you put it underneath the light of the lamp. I also love textiles, especially ecclesiastic vestments. I love the ritual of the Catholic Church, but for some reason, religion doesn't particularly attract me. I also collect other fabrics, like this fabulous gauze from Dhaka.
Propriety won't allow us to discuss your other pleasures brought with you today, Dorian, but I will join you on the docks for another day for a proper appraisal. Now, the value of everything you have brought with you today is priceless.
Thank you. It's a relief to know that the things I value are enjoyed by others.
Are you all right, Dorian? You seem distracted, and you've been fidgeting with this key throughout the whole segment.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just have to return home and check up on some urgent housekeeping matters.
Well, it was wonderful to have you on the show today, Dorian.
Thanks. I'm also going to use this opportunity to advertise my new anti-aging line. Dorian's Tonics, infused with goat fat, rosewater, and cucumbers. Maybe I'm born with it. Maybe it's Mistopheles.
I'm Lady Berkshire. Back to you.
Welcome back to Last Night with Lucille. Today's segment is called Gossip on Gatsby, featuring our special guest, Jordan Baker.
What a delight to be here, Lucille. Everyone knows how great Gatsby's parties are.
Don't be silly, Jordan. Every person who's worth anything has heard of Gatsby's parties.
Well, last night, Lucille and I attended one of Gatsby's parties that were all the rave. My escort, Nick, brought to our attention that none of the attendees really know their host, which I have to agree with.
Oh, certainly. While Gatsby's parties are all anyone can ever talk about, he's never there to talk with his guests. It is the strangest thing in my opinion. If I threw a party like his, I would certainly want it to be known that I had thrown it.
No one quite knows where Gatsby gets his money to throw these parties, not to mention his luxurious estate. While we don't know where his mystery money comes from, it's rumored that it's family money. Yet, no one knows who his family is, and it's difficult to find out because he's always hidden. You're lucky if you can even get in a good few words with him.
He has so much to spare, he even replaced a gown of mine that I had ripped at another one of his parties. That's another thing about him too. He never wants anything to go wrong and always goes out of his way to make sure that everything is contained. It makes me wonder exactly what he's hiding.
Oh, there's no doubt that he's hiding things. I also caught wind that he doesn't even drink at his own parties, and that's the oddest thing to me. It seems that his guests are so laid back and enjoyable. I can't see a reason for him not to drink, other than the fact that it would make him vulnerable.
Right, what a blue nose. But not drinking at his party is certainly not the worst thing to come up about Gatsby.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, I'm sure you've already heard that he was a German spy during the war. In fact, maybe that's where some of his money comes from. There was a man at the party that knew someone that grew up with Gatsby in Germany. But however absurd it sounds, I would never stop going to his parties, even if he could be spying on us. The same man, Mr. Mumbles, told me that there's a strange look in Gatsby's eyes that's unsettling. In fact, he said you could almost wonder if Gatsby had killed a man.
But I also must not forget that when Gatsby approached our table, he recognized Nick from the war. Maybe the man was just mistaken when he talked about Gatsby being a spy. At the same time, he could have just snooped enough to know that Nick was in the war. Who knows? He also had told me once before that he was an Oxford man, but there's no way that fits him. I wouldn't put it all past him because he's lied about it.
I heard that you two talked in a private for a while. What was that about?
Oh, it's really nothing.
How scandalous, Jordan. I bet you were terrified of being alone with him with all the things floating around.
Oh, not particularly.
Well, that's all we have for today with Last Night with Lucille, but there will certainly be more parties to attend, so stay tuned for next week.
Good morning, and welcome to Station Zero News. It's 5 a.m. and drizzling. As always, rain will add time to your morning commute, so we want to update you on the current traffic situation. Lydia, who has her eye on the roads all morning, will give you the updates that you need. Lydia?
Traffic is definitely busy this morning, but not only because of the rain. You really need to watch out for the area around the Valley of Ashes, from downtown Manhattan to the Eggs. The traffic won't affect most of your suburb dwellers until this evening when you return home from downtown. This accident is a big one, and the road may be shut down for several hours, if not a day or two. Haley, would you like to explain why the accident was so horrible?
Around dusk last night, a car raced past George Wilson's garage, killing his wife, Myrtle Wilson, as she ran from the building. She was killed on impact, but the driver didn't stop or slow down. This is your classic hit and run, and the driver is still at large. Since the accident, several cars have stopped alongside the road to see the accident. Although police are currently working on clearing the cars and debris, pedestrians have been blocked off from the area.
As any commuter knows, the number of these accidents has dramatically increased in recent months. Is there any reason for this?
Many of the drivers involved in these accidents are driving drunk, distracted, or angry. Manhattan is known for its party scene, and as the number of parties increase, the numbers of accidents increase as well.
Some of you at home may remember the horrible morning for commuters in West Egg after a house party a few weeks ago. Partiers were so drunk that some of them drove completely off the road. I'm not the political correspondent, so I won't go into the details of prohibition or bootlegging. But I know that both of us have seen the number of drunk driving accidents increase in recent years.
Ultimately, people are so obsessed and preoccupied with drinking that they forget about basic safety.
I agree with that basic premise. People who end up in these accidents are typically obsessed with something else. However, so far, there is no evidence that whoever was involved in the accident yesterday was driving drunk. They were definitely significantly over the speed limit, but they did try to swerve away from the victim. Plus, drunk drivers are more likely to crash the car. As far as we know, the driver got home safe.
But why would a sober, composed driver hit a pedestrian and keep going?
Just because they weren't drunk doesn't mean they weren't composed. In today's day and age, they have to be obsessing over any number of things. An affair, criminal activity they might be caught up in, a party they're planning on attending, an unhappy marriage. But regardless of what they are preoccupied with, this driver was so intent to get home from downtown Manhattan that they hit a pedestrian, kept driving, and caused the awful traffic in the Valley of Ashes this morning. The 20s sure are a crazy time.
Well, good luck, commuters. And for all of our sakes, before driving, make sure to take a deep breath and relax. Never drive obsessed.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Kavya Nair, and we're reporting to you live as the much-awaited Dorian Gay.
Dorian Gay! Yes! Wow! Tell me you have that recording.
Do not delete that.
No, people are gonna think I'm homophobe.
He was a wealthy man and he was very nice. That's you.
Wait, did Cassie? Oh my god! I am very shocked.
I'm very
Daisy! Tonics infused with goat fat, rose water, and cucumbers. Maybe I'm born with it. Maybe it's just What is that?
Mephistopheles.
Mephistopheles. I can't speak English.
It's the demon from the
I
fallacy.
remember it now. Maybe I'm born with it. Maybe it's Mephistopheles.
I'm Lady Berkshire. Back to you.
Topics that are bogging me right now. For example, I became quite enamored with music and purchased these Chinese
Chilean.
That's a blooper right there.
And she said it again. She was like,
Okay, I'm good. Okay. Alright, we're good. We all good in the hood. Alright, here we go.
We're all good. Anyway, for example, I became quite enamored with music and purchased these Chilean flutes, which are created from human bones. Ooh.
What can you tell me about your gemstone collection?
This is a Cheryl. What? I don't know. How do you say that?
I think we should just go through it and then film
yeah.
I love the ritual of the Catholic Church, but for some reason, religion doesn't particularly attract me. I also collect other fabrics, like this.
It's around your neck.
Oh. Like this fabulous gauze from Dhaka.
Let's try that again.
Yeah.